Number 49, Kaya. Kaya is the waterbending daughter of Avatar Aang and Katara. Of course, taking more from her mother's side, Kaya is an amazing healer. And learning everything she knows from her mother, she is not just an exceptional healer, but an amazing warrior. Don't believe me? Just try her. She doesn't care who you are. If you want to throw hands, she'll throw hands. Don't forget her father was the Avatar, so he also taught her a little something about waterbending fighting. And she shows it with how vicious she is with the splash. Because as long as there's a source of water around, she'll flood you up and wash you away with the tides. That's why Kaya is on this list of top 10 waterbenders. Number 48, Tenzin. Tenzin is the son of Aang, so he got his airbending from the One. But with all that power came a whole lot of responsibility to burden, as he was the only one of Aang's children to gain airbending, making him feel that he had to be the one to restart the Air Nomads Airbending Nation all on his own, coupled with being the new guidance teacher for the new Avatar. Tenzin felt that he had to hold a tight grasp on both tasks if he were to do them right, but later realizing, thanks to the wisdom of himself and others, that this was not the way. That both for Korra and his family, that he had to let them go and make their own mistakes, but also be there to aid them if they needed it, so that they'll be able to grow to greater heights. And thanks to that, and coupled with harmonic convergence, a new nation of airbenders were born, making Tenzin's life a whole lot easier. Number 47, Uncle Iroh. Now, it's not really hard to believe, but Uncle Iroh is the heart of Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's the guiding light for most of the characters on the show. But he's not just sweet with his words. This man's sweet with everything. His hands, his firebending. They don't call him the Dragon of the West for none. He even started and developed the skill for what would become redirecting and shooting lightning. From the little stuff he learned from the waterbenders, showing you not only how open-minded he is, but how intelligent too. This is why this wise fire breather really is most people's favorite character. Unfortunately, I couldn't place him higher. Number 46, Suyin Beifong. That's right, one of Toph's daughters. And just like her mom, she is wild. Really taking to heart that her mom, Toph, was the progenitor of metal bending, she went on her own and created Zafu, where not only people can go to learn how to metal bend and hone their metal bending skills, but also be free and creative, all the things she felt she was not allowed to be. Which ironically, for a time, she ended up becoming the very thing she hated, causing her relationship with both her mom and her sister to be very tense. But eventually, she ended up learning how to be better and rising above those prior feelings, to not only mend the relationship between her and her family, but to strengthen it like iron. Number 45, Lin Beifong. Lin Beifong is a metal bender, just like her mother, and is a proud member of Republic City's metal bending police force. She is not one to be played around with. She is tough, resilient, and most of all, skilled. This strong earthbender has tons of training and experience fighting against a variety of vicious bending gang members of Republic City. And despite her leadership, she is very tough to work with in the beginning because of her trust issues due to stuff that happened in her past between her and her family and others. But she eventually learns to surpass those feelings and become a super reliable member of the new Team Avatar. Not just mending her relationship with her family, but with herself, making her once lost but now found. A true Beifong. Number 44, Toph Beifong. Toph is one of the greatest earthbenders in the series, hands down. The fact that she is such a prodigy at the craft, at such a young age, being a champion trained by the Badger Moles, the original earthbenders. She achieved all of this blind, just like them. She even founded and developed the craft of metal bending. She even founded an academy to help spread and develop future metal benders. And that was after helping Team Avatar beat Fire Lord Sozin, by the way. And later, as an adult, she would go and become one of the best metal bending police officers Republic City has ever had. And as an elder, still finds herself helping the next Avatar. Toph just won't stop.
Number 43, Sozin. Fire Lord Sozin is an incredibly manipulative, scummy, bad person. And of course, you can say that of a bunch of villainous Avatar characters, but when it comes to Sozin, he takes the cake. Not only did he spend many years trying to manipulate his own best friend into having a Zeto mindset, into being extremely loyal to the Fire Nation. And when that didn't work, he tried raising a hand to his best friend, trying to use brute force to control the power of the Avatar, and lost expectably, and was bitter about it ever since. Which led to him letting his best friend die at the hands of a volcano just so he can go off and use a comet's power to genocide an entire nation of airbenders just because he knew his best friend was going to be reincarnated in that group. Just so he could be known throughout history as the Fire Lord that not only eradicated an entire civilization of pacifistic monks, but also killed the Avatar by permanently ending their cycle, which, of course, he did. In fact, there's a lot of stuff you can take away from his greatness. I mean, he never truly beat Roku in a fight. He never truly hunted all the dragons to extinction. He never truly ended the Avatar. So regardless of having a comet named after you, Sozin, at the end of your life, you ended up a failure.
Number 42, Ozai. There's a reason why this guy was not only foreshadowed to be a major threat, but feared throughout the series. And it wasn't just because he was leading an entire army of firebenders into subjugating the other three nations. It was because this guy was about his business. Anyone dare step to him, even his own blood gets burnt in the eye. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't the greatest firebender, but he was pretty OP, especially thanks to Sozin's comet. I mean, Aang might be a pacifist, but in the Avatar state, he's basically like a nuclear weapon. And Ozai was still keeping up with him. Throwing hands, catching hands. He was hanging with the Avatar, which shows why he's definitely top tier.
Number 41, Azula.
Princess Azula, to be more accurate. And to show top respect to the Blue Flame Queen herself. Being born a firebender prodigy. Her flames burn so hot. They burn through stone. They burn through her victims. Honestly, they're more deadly than when she shoots lightning, my bruh. Being able to fly like a fighter jet. And when you combine that level of firepower with her quick-wit cunning and merciless attitude with dominating personality, no wonder Zuko had as much sister issues as he did daddy ones. So regardless of how insane Azula ended up becoming, she's still crazy hot.
Number 40, Zuko.
Zuko has the best character development in the entire franchise, hands down. And not only is he a skilled fighter, fantastic with the blade, he is one of the most amazing firebenders in the entire series. Learning how to greatly firebend from the firebending masters, who are literal dragons, along with teaching the Avatar the last element he needed to learn to take down Zuko's evil father, Ozai, he beat his powerful flying blue firebending sister. He went on to become Fire Lord himself, helping the Avatar to usher in a new age of peace, but still kept on whooping butt even as an old geezer.
Number 39, Kuvira.
Kuvira is a metal bending master, but the ability to do that amazing craft isn't the only thing that defines her, as she is a master tactician, was the leader in a powerful Earth Kingdom army, and was an expert fighter capable enough of throwing hands with the Avatar. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, if it wasn't for her nasty personality, Kuvira could have ended up ruling the entire Earth nation. I mean, she even piloted a giant mech through metal bending that had a super giant laser cannon weapon on its arm. that she brought into battle leading her armies. That's why Kuvira is so high on this list. She's no joke.
Number 38, Katara.
Katara is a waterbender prodigy who will always be one of the best, if not one of the greatest waterbenders in the Avatar universe you will ever meet. Not just by going from mediocre amateur to advanced mastery in her waterbending, with the healing and the blood bending and even some plant bending in the comics, but she was even able to take down hardcore adversaries like Azula, always being the bigger person, aiding, helping, and even forgiving people like the motherly figure she is. She even got with Aang and mothered some amazing kids, and lived long enough to aid the new Avatar after Aang and her brother passed.
Number 37, Minghao.
Minghao is definitely up there with powerful waterbenders because not only is she able to do what they can consistently, but she's able to do it with no arms. She has definitely mastered the art to the point where she can do it armless. Being able to consistently summon water tentacles for long periods of time to act as a type of versatile prosthetic limbs to make up for her missing ones. And boy, do they make up for it. She is a monster in a fight. You do not want to go up against her, because she'll freeze you cold and slice you up before you even know. She is a fierce and loyal member of the Order of the Red Lotus, and it should be more than obvious why. Because she never had not having arms stop her.
Number 36, Combustion Man.
Originally, Team Avatar called him Sparky Sparky Boom Man, but felt that this explosive assassin needed a more serious name. And we never really learned what this booming brute's name actually was. All we could really remember about him was the fear of God he put into each member of Team Avatar's souls, because of regardless of how much they threw at him through their bending, it wasn't even close to stopping him. Earth, water, air, even fire. That just goes to show you how powerful combustion bending is. To be able to blow stuff up with your mind? Too bad it has a fatal weakness, the third eye mark. If you hit that, their chi flow gets all messed up and they are unable to combustion bend properly. Meaning combustion bending becomes a severe liability.
Number 35, Plea.
She is a firebender with explosive firepower. As we all know, or should by now, how difficult it is for a combustion bender to be made. Because of the life and death training it takes for a combustion bender to develop the skill, only 1 out of 100 firebenders can actually become them. But because of the destructive power they gain, it seemingly makes it worth it, as they can literally explode with their mind any element they go up against. Literally focusing all their chi into their forehead, they compress all of that explosive energy and then shoot it out like a beam out of an eye-like mark towards their target. And if that beam makes contact, anything it touches explodes. This makes someone like Plea a walking nuke.
Number 34, Sun.
He not only is a lava bender like Bolin and Gazan, but he ended up joining Toph Beifong's metal bending academy when it first started. So he was personally trained up by a young Toph. Not only that, but he used to also do a lot of underground bending matches, similar to Toph in her early days before joining Team Avatar. So he's no stranger to a drag down fight. And if I can be blunt, lava bending is the greatest power / sub bending that earthbenders have.
Number 33, Gazan.
Gazan is one of the most destructive and powerful earthbenders you will ever see in Avatar. And that's because the man can literally bend lava. Lava benders already being a very special rare brand of earthbenders. I don't know, there's something in their genetics. But to be able to bend earth in such a way that you can quickly form it into magma and then just control that hot lava and spew it on your enemies?
and then after burning them alive, quickly cooling that molten earth back into regular stone and rock? Having such a loyal, powerful guy like that on the Red Lotus truly made them something not to laugh at. Number 32, Bolin. Bolin started as your average pro-bending earthbender. He was in it for the love of the game, the sport, and for a time, even became a mover actor. But through all of that, he doesn't care about the fame or success. He only cares about protecting his family. That's what matters most to him. And he's such a strong earthbender to be able to do so. Even finding out that he's one of the rare few lava benders. The most powerful type of earthbender there is. Not saying that there aren't earthbenders that don't bend lava that isn't above him, especially since he was new to the bending type. But he quickly made it his own and used it masterfully to help support Team Avatar. Number 31, Zahir. Zahir is the leader of the Order of the Red Lotus, and originally was a super capable non-bender, until harmonic convergence occurred and he gained the ability to airbend. Call it fate, call it plot, but turns out Zahir was a practitioner of the teachings of Guru Lahima, one of the greatest, if not the greatest airbender to ever have lived. And after losing his greatest love, the only one tethering him to the physical plane, he unlocked the airbender's greatest airbending ability, the power to fly. To be absolutely weightless. Too bad, because of his radical beliefs that government leaders and the Avatar needed to be exterminated for world growth, led him to becoming a caged bird again. Number 30, Father Glowworm. Father Glowworm was a powerful evil spirit with a thirst for human blood, capable of creating tunnels from the spirit world to the human world and vice versa. He used this to freely prey on humans, until he eventually met his end after he was absorbed by the false avatar Yun, and Yun used his power to escape the spirit world to seek vengeance on those who lied to him. Number 29, Yun. The false avatar, Yun, was the friend of Kyoshi and Rengi, and the earthbending pupil of Jianzu. Talented, charismatic, and handsome, he was misidentified as the new Earth Avatar after a long and difficult search. Following the revelation of Kyoshi's identity as the true Avatar, Yun was betrayed by Jianzu, who felt the boy's usefulness had been exhausted and allowed Father Glowworm, a dark spirit, to carry him off into the mountains. When Yun came to his senses, he realized that he was in the spirit world. Father Glowworm promised that part of him would achieve immortality by being subsumed into the spirit. Father Glowworm subsequently attacked Yun, who managed to resist for a considerable amount of time, managing to deflect the spirit's attacks with torrents of skillful earthbending, but at the last moment, raised the floor of the spirit grove with his raw strength and crushed the spirit. As Yun ate Father Glowworm's eyeball, he absorbed the spirit's essence and gained its power. Broken and enraged by the fact that he was not the true Avatar, Yun started a vengeful quest to kill all the bending masters and politicians who had lied to him about his avatarhood. Number 28, Yakone, father of the infamous Amon and Tarlok. Yakone was a powerful crime lord that ran Republic City's underworld. Seemingly unstoppable due to the fact that he could psychic bloodbend without the need of a full moon, with bloodbending already being a forbidden technique because of how powerful and deadly it is. Now you add on the fact that he doesn't need to use his hands and he can use the forbidden technique anytime he wants on unsuspecting victims. Yeah, there was a reason why Amon was so broken. It's because he came from Yakone's loins, with the only person that could stop him being the only person that did, Avatar Aang, through the power of the Avatar state and energy bending, leaving Yakone a bitter old man without his bending. But this ex-crime lord would go on to bear children, for which, once he found out they had the gift of psychic bloodbending, would relentlessly train to hone the craft. But this would leave Yakone becoming another example of sad man having sad endings, because his kids would go on to turn their backs on him because they realized that the only thing Yakone cared about wasn't his family, but his revenge on the Avatar. Number 27, Tarlok. Councilman Tarlok seemed like he had the best intentions for Republic City, but the way he would abuse his authority to bully those who didn't agree with his views or values. made him no different to any other criminal in Republic City. And turns out, he was derived from one, as Yacone, one of the baddest gang bosses Republic City has ever seen, was his father, who was stripped of his powerful psychic bloodbending by the Avatar and decided to try and teach it to his kids, one of which, Tarlok, ended up resenting his father for it, but ironically ended up becoming just like his dad. Bribing, extorting, incentivizing people with brutality or fear of arrest. And don't forget bloodbending until all of that was stripped away from him by his brother. Number 26, Amon, secretly known as Nautak. Pretending to be a non-bender that was burned by firebenders that was gifted the ability to take bending away by the spirits. Nautak, as Amon, was a fierce fighter that created the Equalist group to start the non-bending revolution. To take bending away from all benders, to make everyone equal, believing bending was the sole reason behind war and conflict in the Avatar world. His father, Yacone, taught him everything he knew, as he was a gang boss able to bloodbend without a full moon. But when he had his bending taken away by the Avatar, he trained and abused his kids to become weapons to use against the new Avatar. But Nautak threw that idea away along with his family and started utilizing his bloodbending to strip benders away of their bending until his brother stripped them both away of their life. Number 25, Ko, the Face Stealer. Now this is a highly dangerous spirit, both ancient and deadly. This spirit, living up to its name, will steal your face if you dare show any type of emotion in its presence. Being bold enough to even steal the face of the woman Avatar Kuruk loved. Number 24, General Old Iron. General Old Iron is a giant, powerful spirit that roamed the land during the era of Rava, using his powerful earth armor to protect another ancient spirit, Lady Tianhai. He has a deep resentment of humans, not just because he believed they were the reason behind her death, but also because he thinks they defile any land they come across. Number 23, Yue. Yue was the princess of the Northern Water tribe and one of the lead advisors, and one of Sokka's many love interests, but the one who held the most weight because she would later on in life become the moon. As noble as she is kind, she returned the portion of life given to her by the moon spirit too at birth to prevent her from dying as per her parents' wishes. Because the moon spirit had died via an attack from the Fire Nation to try and remove all waterbenders' bending. Because of her enormous sacrifice, not only was Tu the moon spirit revived and the waterbenders gained their waterbending back, but Yue as a result became part of the moon spirit and been able to watch over Sokka and her beloved Northern Water tribe. Number 22, La. La is the ocean spirit, one of the twin spirits of the ocean and moon. And he's a ride or die because when the Fire Nation killed his twin, he went all Koizilla on them with the help of the Avatar. And it's theorized that he would have continued this rampage until all the Fire Nation was wiped out, but luckily for them, the moon spirit was revived, so he's definitely a fish you do not want to mess with. Number 21, Tu. Tu is the moon spirit, which is why it's so high on this list. One of the twin spirits of the ocean and moon. Without it, we wouldn't even have the moon, or water bending for that matter, which is why it's so important in the world of Avatar. With Princess Yue, who was once given life by it, now after returning that life has since become part of the moon spirit, looking over her beloved water tribe and the world. Number 20, the Mother of Faces. You heard that right. This ancient powerful spirit is responsible for all the faces of all the people throughout the history of the Avatar world, which is why I put her so high. And she's not just the mother of faces, she's also the mother of another ancient powerful spirit, Ko, the Face Stealer. And she not only commands spirits, but she can also change faces and alter people's memories. Number 19, Taga. Taga, the ancient airbender, is extremely powerful and is essentially the answer to the question, what if Avatar Aang went bad? While Zahir was the answer to the question, what if there was an evil airbender? And speaking of Aang and Zahir, Taga is like a fusion of the both. with the Zahir similarities being that he was originally a non-bender, given the ability to airbend by his master Avatar Sanam to help her in her efforts to make the world a more peaceful place. But after witnessing his people get slaughtered by the newly formed Earth Kingdom, it put him down a darker path where he was willing to kill anyone to achieve his goals, along with lying, betraying, and manipulating anyone he could use to further his endeavors. While the Aang comparisons being that he was frozen in a block of ice by Avatar Sanam for centuries as opposed to the 1 century that Aang did, and was released from that block of ice by the very same Avatar Aang and wanted to revive the airbenders the same way Aang did. Not to mention that through Sanam's staff, even without being an avatar, Taga is able to energy bend to create new airbenders from non-airbenders the way he was turned into one. Allowing him to basically manipulate Aang into aiding him, but don't let that trick you, because Taga might be sneaky, but he can throw hands when he really wants to, and he's deadly with them air bullets, being able to take out all of Team Avatar, including Avatar Aang, and essentially killing them. Luckily, Katara came in with that boosted healing water, sparing their lives, but yeah, they were soloed by this one ancient airbender who goes beast mode once he gets his hands on Avatar Sanam's staff again, essentially becoming a dark spirit with the power to rip open the spirit world and essentially pull Sanam City down on Republic City. All of this to say that Taga's definitely a what-if story for Avatar Aang, since his dark path is one that Aang could have easily taken, since it involves retribution for other nations genociding the lives of peaceful air nomads. But because of the peaceful air nomad way, Aang was able to stay true to himself and the way of his people and defeat Taga instead of becoming like him. Number 18, Hundun. Hundun is a obscure but canon character in the Avatar The Last Airbender mythos. A powerful earthbender who has powers over chaos attack, dark magical energies, which allows him to manipulate spirits, put them under his control. He has lived for centuries with a deep vendetta against the Avatar. And him with his twin is a tough boss battle you do not want to find yourself in. Gave Avatar Korra a run for her money, that's for sure. But all of this to say Hundun's on this list because he's a doorway to more abilities and powers unseen in the Avatar landscape. Because stuff like Chaos Attack can be utilized more in the future of Avatar. Number 17, Sion. Avatar Sion may have not been the most impressive avatar when it came to stature, being one of the smallest, and had his weird quirk about being particular when it came to footwear. But he made up for this by being one of the most knowledgeable avatars, if not the most knowledgeable, comparable to that of the ancient spirit Wan Ching Tong, he who knows 10,000 things. Avatar Sion was very wise, even having lost knowledge about the ancient avatar Sanam. Number 16, Gun.
Gun was the avatar who lived during the Ru Ming era, long before Yang Chen's time. Avatar Gun had a close companion in Misose, a poet and engineer whom they nicknamed Seisei. The latter would write treatises, and Gun liked to read or listen to these texts. Over the course of their adventures, Gun grew increasingly disdainful of humanity. The Avatar felt that people would always demand more aid despite being ungrateful for the aid already given, while also repeatedly making the same mistakes over and over again. In such moments of doubt, Misose tried to calm Gun down. Eventually, Gun and Misose found themselves at the harbor city of Han when it was hit by a tsunami. Gun attempted to try and stop the natural disaster, but they could only weaken it. Large parts of Han were destroyed, and Misose died in the flood despite Gun's effort at saving the scholar. Devastated at this loss, Gun disappeared for an extended period of time before resuming their duties as the Avatar. Gun was recorded as failing to stop the tsunami at Han, even though the city survived and would eventually prosper again. Jetsun would speculate that Gun themselves had demanded that this incident be labeled as a failure of theirs, considering that they had lost Misose. Eventually, an 8-year-old Yangchen possessed by Gun would relive the day when Misose died. About 9 years later, Gun again would possess Yangchen as she was resting on a small island in the northern city. This time, Gun's disdain for humanity came to the fore as the long-dead Avatar implored their companion, mistaking Kavik for Misose, to tell them why the Avatar should care any longer about all the ungrateful and short-sighted humans. When Kavik could only offer hope in the betterment of humanity as a reason, Gun started to madly laugh until Yangchen snapped out of the possession. Gun lived in the Ru Ming era, which was first featured as part of Wan Xing Tong's calendar in the library. Based on the calendar system, Gun may have been a water avatar if the era names do indeed correspond to avatars. If Gun's Ru Ming era was the most recent one, then that means, as suggested by Siring's familiarity with the topic, they lived 3 avatar generations before Yangchen. When Gun possessed Yangchen, Kavik felt that the air avatar suddenly seemed decades older. If this impression correctly reflects Gun's age, they were at least in their 40s or 50s by the time of Misose's death.
Number 15, Zeto.
Avatar Zeto was the Fire Nation avatar preceding Avatar Yangchen, living in an era of immense crisis that threatened to destroy the Fire Nation. Zeto saved his home country by becoming a bureaucrat, diplomat, and an accountant in service of Fire Lord Yosor. Eventually rising to Grand Advisor, Zeto greatly strengthened the Fire Nation's government, restored economic balance, and set up programs to aid the poor and needy. Zeto was an ideal for all Fire Nation officials to live up to, and a shining example of Fire Nation values in general: efficiency, precision, and loyalty. Zeto had great bending powers, but even greater than that, administrative skills. In addition, he was regarded as a highly talented public speaker, a skill which helped him at becoming a flexible diplomat. Beyond these publicly displayed abilities, Zeto was also a master at espionage and deception.
Number 14, Roku.
Now you had to see this coming. I mean, every avatar is born into one nation, part of the avatar cycle, and we don't know much about the various avatars born into the Fire Nation except for a few like Roku. But as you can easily imagine, being born the avatar would make you naturally one of the strongest firebenders. Not just because of the boost in power when it comes to bending that element, but because you also have access to the other 3 elements as well. Also, Roku was so wise, so helpful to Aang. And yes, he failed to stop Sozin from starting the 100-Year War. But that's because he had to take on a sudden, giant active volcano that would have threatened to destroy the entire Fire Nation, so I don't blame him for having to take a dirt nap.
Number 13, Karuk.
Y'all had to see this coming, with Karuk being born in the Water Nation tribes before it was known that he would be the Avatar. Then of course he would have been one of the strongest waterbenders from the Avatar power boosting his waterbending abilities. And Karuk, regardless of him being known for being one of the worst, if not the worst avatars, was actually in reality one of the best because he secretly defended the world from dark spirits invading it. Regardless of the many physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual sacrifices he had to make to do it. Ultimately losing the one he loved the most in returns for his service as the Avatar. But regardless of that, he will always be a great Avatar and an even greater waterbender.
Number 12, Salai.
Avatar Salai. Not much is known about this Avatar, except he was born within the Earth Kingdom, so he came right before Avatar Zeto. And he must have had a lot of achievements during his era, as he was remembered for being one of the greatest avatars. And Salai is the shortest known avatar, dying as so at an old age. But with the fact of him being known for being one of the best avatars, probably meant he had overwhelming strength to make up for it.
Number 11, Yangchen.
Yangchen was the air nomad avatar that, thanks to her devotion and wisdom, brought about a generation of peace. But don't get her wrong, just because she wanted to bring about peace doesn't mean she wasn't willing to throw hands. And people feared Yangchen for her ability to throw down, as regardless of coming from the background of monks, she had the power and the determination to do whatever it took to keep about peace in this world. And not just violently, as she would adapt herself into using complex political strategies, such as manipulation, espionage, and even deceit. But thanks to her duty as the Avatar, she was revered as a holy individual that kept a whole generation of war from occurring after her death.
Number 10. Kyoshi.
Avatar Kyoshi. Of course, with her earthbending being boosted 100 times stronger than even the best earthbenders, this strong and merciless Avatar stood for justice in her era of war, not even allowing herself to die until her job was finished. She would live on to be
230 years old, god damn,
making her the longest living Avatar, even beating out Aang, who took a 100-year nap in an iceberg. And even before she let herself finally take a dirt nap, she formed the Dai Li, a secret earthbending police force, and inspired future generations of Kyoshi warriors to protect the Earth Nation and the people of this world long after she was gone.
Number 9. Unalaq.
The Dark Avatar. That's right. Unalaq is this high on this list because not only is he an exceptional waterbender, but he could also spirit bend, being able to bend dark spirits into light ones or do the reverse and create even more dark spirits. And yes, with even being a spiritual man who believed humans and spirits should coexist, he was still a treacherous, malicious, conniving, and psychopathic a-hole who fused with the dark spirit of disorder and chaos Vatu to become the new and only Dark Avatar, augmenting and boosting his waterbending to the heights that only avatars have ever been able to achieve. And after temporarily killing Rava, this made this man nearly unstoppable. But Korra found a way, revived Rava, became the Avatar again, and defeated her evil uncle once and for all.
Number 8. Avatar Sanam. Sanam was an ancient, forgotten air nomad avatar who learned the ways of energy bending from the lion turtle so that she may be able to bestow the gift of airbending to her non-bending followers of the air nomad way. Sanam was forgotten throughout history, even by the other avatars, after her most trusted apprentice turned airbender, Taga, betrayed her after he saw her mercy for the other nations as weakness and almost destroyed her for it, forcing Sanam to seal him away forever in a block of ice, then seal away her most valuable and most powerful item, her staff, that is capable of bestowing airbending upon people and connecting the human world to the spirit world to summon her temple from it. Only because it was so spiritually empowered by her energy bending. Either way, it's because of all of this that Sanam could have been the most powerful air nomad avatar the history books would have never known. Number 7. Korra.
Avatar Korra, because she surpassed what it means to be an avatar. Honestly, she has faced and beaten the most trials I've ever seen any avatar take. And the fact that even though she gave up a couple of times and lost really badly, she was able to stand back up and continue the fight to protect people she didn't even know. Shows how truly good Korra is, regardless of how sometimes she can be quick to anger. She may have lost her connections to the previous avatars, but her connection with Rava, the avatar spirit, has never been stronger, allowing her to truly be one of the greatest avatar the Avatar universe has ever witnessed.
Number 6. Pavi/Nisha. These two take twin spots for this number 6 in this 100 number list of avatar characters because they're going to be the next avatar. Yes, the both of them. Though only one of them is going to be the official avatar, both of them have been confirmed to be able to bend multiple elements. With their series, Avatar: The Seven Havens, not yet being out, there's still a lot of mystery in the air as to how they'll be both able to bend multiple elements. My theory as to how as there have been twins in the past, with one of them being the Avatar, but both of them not being able to bend multiple elements, is that one of them houses the spirit of light, Rava, the Avatar spirit, while the other one houses the spirit of darkness, Vaatu, who had recently, in Korra's era, became an Avatar spirit. Either way, we do know that avatars, depending on circumstances, slowly get stronger throughout different eras, and Korra was definitely a lot stronger than Aang, and with this twin avatar thing, I'm guessing Pavi and Nisha will be stronger than Korra ever was. Number 5. Vaatu.
Vaatu's the ancient spirit of darkness and chaos and is the dark twin spirit of Rava. This spirit has the power to corrupt other spirits into dark spirits, and it would do so if it didn't have Rava always in his way. Especially when she merged with a human to create the first avatar to imprison him, but he would later on be freed by a human to fuse with him and create the dark avatar to destroy her.
Top 100 Avatar The Last Airbender characters. Number 4. The Lion Turtles.
The Lion Turtles, also known as the Ancient Ones by both the humans and spirits, are the largest and oldest known animal in the Avatar world, and are the very origin behind humans being able to bend the 4 elements. They once served as humanity's protectors when spirits roamed the land freely, but has since abandoned that duty to the Avatar, and after many centuries have gone nearly extinct. They are extremely wise and extremely powerful, being able to communicate with other life forms telepathically, while also being able to grant humans the ability to bend via energy bending, which meant bending the energy within oneself and others to allow one to bend one of the 4 elements. A special bending power that was granted to Avatar Aang by a lion turtle to take away Fire Lord Ozai's fire bending.
Number 3. Rava.
Rava was the ancient spirit of light and order, and the twin spirit of the evil Vaatu. But ever since she merged with Wan and been with him throughout all his reincarnations, she has since become the Avatar spirit, what gives all avatars their power and keeps all of their spirits connected through the Avatar cycle. And she temporarily died during Korra's era when Vaatu returned, creating his own dark version of the Avatar and destroyed her. But being part of a universal concept of light and darkness, good and evil, one cannot exist without the other. So Rava was able to return by regrowing from the small light inside of Vaatu. Then after Korra destroyed Vaatu, Rava remerged with her, but as a consequence, the Avatar cycle was rebooted. But regardless of that, the new Avatar will have more than just Korra's spirit, she'll have Rava as well.
Number 2. Aang.
Aang deserves this seat because he truly was the last airbender after the Fire Nation came in and massacred his entire nation. And he has both the angel and devil's luck on his shoulder. Because not only did he avoid that massacre by running away and getting frozen in an iceberg, but he conveniently got freed from that iceberg by Katara and Sokka 100 years later, with enough time to achieve so many great feats before the next Sozin's Comet. Mainly through airbending and mainly as a kid, he defeated the new Fire Lord in a peaceful way which most avatars didn't even think was possible, and would live on to do greater things. And keeping his air nomad roots of peace alive to the very end, he would die knowing that future generations of airbenders would be born and live on thanks to him.
Number 1. Wan.
Now, a lot of you might call this crazy cap as to why Avatar 1 takes the number 1 spot out of 100 Avatar The Last Airbender characters, but the reason he's there is because he and Rava, plus with some lion turtles, are the very reason why the Avatar exists to begin with, for us to have characters like Avatar Aang, Korra, Kyoshi, and, all the rest of them. And is the reason why the world stays in balance, because his mission was carried on throughout all of his reincarnation. Aang is a reincarnation of Wan, Kyoshi, Yang Chen, Karuk, all of them. Even the new avatar that we're getting, Pavi, and her twin sister Nisha, are all reincarnations of this great firebender that started the era of the Avatar, that we're still in, and that the world continues to be protected by.
Number 0. The Avatar The Last Airbender community. That's right. You are the top of the top 100 Avatar The Last Airbender characters because you all are what made this franchise, this community, so great. I mean, whether it's visuals, the music, the action, the lore, the story, Avatar The Last Airbender is an amazing franchise slash series, but the thing that truly made it great was the support and love given by the fans, the Avatar The Last Airbender community. And it was easy for you guys to do because the story itself is so relatable, speaks to everyone. So regardless of what type of project is upcoming, whether it's a new book, a new comic, a new movie, show, cartoon, we're there for it because it's something that has always had the potential to be timeless, whether it's like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, or DC Comics based content. Avatar The Last Airbender has the draw, has the potential to run with the big boys, and we've always known that from the very first season 1 cartoon. And we all know that the creators feel it too. It's become a passion project for them, which is why they created their own studio, Avatar Studios, to create more Avatar content for the people who obviously wanted us, the community, and people who haven't yet to seen it, but have been drawn by all of these new projects, such as the live action Avatar series on Netflix or the movie that has recently come out. So that's why you're at the top of the list, but also why you're number 0, because technically we don't exist in the Avatar world, but our love for it is what keeps it going.